Jupiter is abundance, it's increase, it's expansion, it's good fortune, good luck, gains, benefits, right? It's education, it's religion, it's spirituality. This is on the good side of things. If you consider, for those who consider spirituality evil or good, that's not what we are talking about. But these are the good sides to Jupiter. And why am I still talking about Jupiter? Because Sagittarius, as you can see here, I drew this in blue. This is an active timeline. Just the same way I drew all of the planets out here in blue. These are the places where the planets are currently. By transit, these are I indicated with the blue marker. So Jupiter currently is in Cancer. You understand me? And this is where all the planets are currently by transit. So if this is the Nigerian chart, some things are missing, like the aspects and the degrees where the planets are seated are missing. But that is not what I'm going to be talking about, because I'm not teaching the Nigerian chart. I want to give you guys the predictions for this new timeline, which is beginning tomorrow, the 1st of October. Why am I doing this video today? Because I want this video to go live tomorrow. I want it to go public tomorrow, so I'm going to be uploading it today. So I want to do this video. I make sure that as the timeline is kicking off, everybody is catching a glimpse of what is going to go down. Everybody is getting a glimpse of what is going to be happening for the next 12 months, because the Nigerian timeline begins every 1st of October. Yes. Because that's the birthday of Nigeria. So whether human being or business or nations or anything has a birthday, hence why there's a birth chart for anything at all. For anything at all. So this is the birth chart of Nigeria. The time I use, like I said, the method I'm using to predict this is annual professions. You understand? If you are so inclined to learn astrology, this is annual professions. You can just learn, but I mean, reading how this energy is going to unfold is a whole different ballgame. But you can just know the predictions technique that I'm using for this. This is like one of the simplest predictions technique, and this stuff works. I've been keeping track on it. And for those who have been watching my old videos, like when I started this series, the introduction to the Nigerian birth chart, to the astrology of Nigeria, and Mars in Scorpio prediction, the last prediction video I did recently, I think I'm going to put the link in the description. I made a lot of predictions, but I can't cover everything that's going to happen in one prediction. In one predictions video, I can't. For example, in the Mars in Scorpio prediction, I said lawyers, we eventually have to be really, really careful, and all that stuff, right? And there's been deaths in every nook and cranny. Talking about death, the current report of the death of a new news reporter on Arise TV, right? And how does that play in? This is the 9th place. Nigeria has Pisces in the 9th place. That is the place of the media. You understand me? Anything media related. And Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is here where Mars is currently. It's in Scorpio. Nigeria has Neptune in Scorpio. That's on 1st October 1960, where the planet was. At the time Nigeria was declared an independent nation, that was when the country was born. Hence why this chart exists. This is astrology. Everything has a beginning. The beginning of a thing, the time that the thing begins, is going to tell you the fate of that thing. For people that often say time is an illusion, you are very, very wrong. Time is very real. It is a very fabric of reality. A thing cannot come to you when it's your thought. Time is not an illusion. Go for an interview late and let me know if time is an illusion. Don't keep to time. Go late for an interview. Let me know if you're going to get a job. You see, we just keep making up all of it. Okay, let's just leave the job construct. Sit down. Like, okay, the point it took you from birth and the point it took you to this very point. Was it like that? No, it wasn't. There was a process. What was that process called? It's called time. Anyways, the main focus of this video is the new timeline, and the new timeline is Sagittarius. Why was I saying Jupiter? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. They are one and the same. If you've watched my videos where I'm teaching astrology and I was explaining the planets, I said a sign and a planet that rules it are the same. What the planet is it's an embodiment, or it's a celestial body, or it's a matter or a body of energy that carries the influence of a sign around the zodiac. That is what a planet is. But I'm not teaching astrology today, right? So this energy, it means a lot of things for us. But most importantly is these things I mentioned. Education, teachers, professors, um, religion, spirituality, including clergymen, all kinds of spiritual heads and religious heads, and including, to some extent, the church, even Islam, any kind of religion at all is Jupiter. Although Pisces is religion, but the fact that Jupiter is active does not necessarily mean Sagittarius is the only place that is active here. And I know why I said it, because I've observed. You understand? I'm someone that is very, very interested in predictive astrology. I just don't want to read people and just delineate things and go. I'm more interested. So I've specifically noticed the pattern when it comes to how these planets play out. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces. And I guarantee you, if this guy is active, if Sagittarius is active for the year, we are going to be seeing Pisces indications too. And the ruler of Pisces, which is Neptune, is there in Scorpio. We might see the death. You understand what I'm saying? We might see the death of one religious or spiritual figure, very big religious or spiritual figure this year. No, this timeline does not necessarily mean that it has to happen in October. But what I mean by this timeline is from October 1st going, even up till next year, rolling into next year, when this timeline is going to end, just like the one that we have this year, which is a Scorpio timeline, is ending. It's going to be ending today. Today is the end of the previous timeline. Nigeria was 64 years. Nigeria is going to be 65 years tomorrow. This is the energy. This is the energy that begins that timeline until the 30th of September next year. So we might likely see the death of some spiritual heads, the death of some professors, some clergymen, we might likely see these things being indicated there. The indication is quite strong. Yeah, so by virtue of even Jupiter being the planet of religion and spirituality, which also is what Pisces is, but Jupiter rules Pisces right here, so. But since Neptune was discovered, this has carried all of that energy. Now, don't say, why am I not getting into the predictions? One step at a time. There's a lot to delineate. Okay, let's go into the predictions fully. Let's go into it fully, right? The sixth house here is the house of hustlers. And this is where Nigeria has Sagittarius. Now, what does this mean? And this is also the house that indicates proletariats, that is working class people. And the planet of travel and the sign of travel is seated in that place. What is that thing? The Jackpot culture, the Jackpot thing is going to go out of hand. This new timeline, Jackpot is going to go out of hand. You see the working class, they are going to be moving out like this. You understand? They are going to be moving out like this. But currently now, Jupiter is currently in a Cancer, where Mars is. Cancer is country. Jupiter being in Cancer points to foreign country. It even points to, a foreign land outside of your own place. Like, for example, let's say you're from the East. The West is considered a foreign land for you astrologically, even though you are still in the same Nigeria. So let's say like Southeast, for example, and then Southwest, they are not the same. Astrologically, those are foreign nations. Astrologically, yes. So, this could also point to a mass deportation of these people who have jackpot to, a foreign land. We will also be seeing some of these things too. Deportation of these things. But I was talking to someone recently. I said I don't like other indications that this thing points to. And what do I mean? Jupiter is a planet of outbreaks. And the sixth house there is the house of epidemics. Illnesses, sicknesses, health conditions is what the sixth house is. And so we are likely going to see an outbreak of an epidemic. Yes. In this timeline, we are very likely going to see an outbreak of an epidemic. So everybody, if your health needs to be on point. your health needs to be on point. I guarantee you. The Ministry of Health is likely going to pick up this year because there's money to be made from people being sick, and a lot of people that are going to be sick is going to see there's going to be media broadcast of the health conditions of Nigeria in this timeline, and the result is not going to be sweet. Yes, there's going to be a broadcast, there's going to be media broadcast, which is Jupiter, of the health conditions of Nigeria for this in this new timeline. I don't know the specific month, I'm not telling you, I'm just reading generally. I do my monthly predictions every month. You understand? When I get to that point, you people will see as I'm breaking down the predictions for the month, right? And I'm still considering the energy for the year. But this sign here, this is the energy for the year. Jupiter rules this sign. So all of the good fortune and all of that stuff. Yes, some people, like the working class people, a lot of people are going to move from working class to upper class. A lot of people, yes, economy is bad, but a lot of people are going to move from working class to upper class. Yes, breakthrough is going to come for a lot of people. You understand me? Yes, breakthrough is going to come for a lot of people. In this timeline that we are in, there's going to be good fortunes, there's going to be benefits and gains for people. Oh, there's other sides to this, and which I just mentioned, an outbreak of an epidemic. And there are people that are going to benefit, and I have a strong feeling, I have this indication. In fact, let's not the feeling, this indication is giving indication of the education of the health sector. The health sector is going to be experiencing massive gains, and I see this indication here, tying into the outbreak of this epidemic. It's going to be like a cash out season. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be like a cash out season. And the other things that I've said before, that okay, this month's energy was Leo, is Leo energy. We are still in the Leo energy, which today being the 30th, we are likely going to see a lot of Leo indications because now the timeline is closing. So the energy that rules the timeline is going to be out there manifesting in the nation to shut that door so that the new timeline can begin. Yes, that's how it works. That's how it works. That I have observed. Because people often think it's because someone said no. Astrology is an 100% empirical science. There is no them say. What you have observed time and time again repeats itself. Tells you that this is law. That is the whole essence of empirical studies, of observation. Law does not change. The law does not change. It just keeps. It has different expression, but it doesn't change ultimately. That's why they say there's nothing new under the sun. You will find different expressions of the law. When I say law, it's universal law. You will find different expressions of one law, but it is just that same one law. It doesn't change. You understand what I'm saying? What do I mean by like in the ancient times, things were far more advanced. If people think I'm lying, yes, they're far more advanced than now. So what we are seeing is the degeneration of matter from spirit to matter. So both man's consciousness and all of that other stuff have been declining so much. And even as the planet is shifting in this precessional cycle, you understand me? And as the poles are also shifting we are moving into different, energy. As the earth is positioning itself differently from, the way it was some thousands of years ago, we're experiencing different waves of energy coming down to us from the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So we're in the Kali Yuga. So we're in the cycle of degeneration of matter. So, but the law is still the law. We are just seeing a lesser expression. You understand? More like a lower frequency expression of that law. But it is still the same expression. It's still the same law it's still the same law that is still in motion and it's still very active. You understand what I'm saying? Alright, so this also points to home invasions. Because by transit, Jupiter is still in Cancer. And Jupiter is still going to be in Cancer for a long part. Jupiter is going to be in Cancer for a long part of this cycle that we are in, this timeline that we just entered. It's timeline cycle. Anyone I say, don't just use it. I use them interchangeably, so don't get it confused. So, why am I talking about home invasion here? Mars is terrorist. So when I say home invasion, I believe that one sounds familiar now, yes. Mars is terrorist. Hmm? So the fact that by transit, the ruler of this new timeline, which is Jupiter, is currently in Cancer, which is home, country, villages, you understand me, environment, home, your homeland. We are already seeing these people advancing their cause. They're already advancing their cause. Mars has moved into Scorpio. See, a lot of terrorist activities. A lot of brutal events are going to be playing out. I'm just giving you guys the Jupiter energy timeline reading. I'm not looking at all these other guys. I will touch on all this in a different video. This information here is so packed. I just want to dwell on it. Talking about this, the Ministry of Works will be very active in this timeline, considering Jupiter is roads, and it's even currently in Cancer. Cancer is bridges. You understand what I'm saying? The bridges, that is linking communities, road, construction of roads, bridges, the Ministry of Works, which is the sixth house, works when it comes to construction of roads. Yeah. You're going to also be very active. So my likely see construction of road, being that people think that this government is incompetent, but the energy there doesn't lie. Yes. This energy doesn't lie. More likely see construction of road and construction of bridges too. In some parts of the world. But you see this home invasion thing, this community invasion and all that stuff, country, like your local country, like which is your village. That's your home, your hometown. That's it. It's home invasion. Because this is where Jupiter currently is. So it's like a guitar, you're playing a string. This guy is active here, but as he's pulling the guitar, it is also echoing at this place. So this one is also pulling. That string is also, echoing in this place. So this indication is going to be active. And this is also the best timeline for those in restaurant business. Super, super best timeline, I guarantee you. Like someone like Yuda Basi now, you expect her to be making big moves this year. This timeline is going to be very beneficial for her. Anything that has to do with food, restaurant, chefing, baking, all that stuff, pastries, you're a chef, you're all that stuff. This is your timeline. You go back up. I guarantee you go back up. This is your timeline. For some, this is just your timeline because Jupiter is currently in Cancer, where it is exalted. Let's take that into consideration. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. And talking about health issues too. I'm glad I'm even talking about this now because, like I said, there's so much that I thought up in my head and I might not even remember to say everything because there's so many. Talking about health issues, you might likely see an outbreak. The epidemic I might be talking is the strongest indication of the epidemic is breast cancer. Yes. So let me not mind words, right? Breast cancer, that is one. But that is like the major outbreak that we are going to be seeing. It's just going to be out of hand. The score is going to come out. You understand me? The statistics of that stuff, the results of the current situation of breast cancer within Nigerian women is going to be out. And Jupiter is the planet of multiplicity. Cancer is a sign of women, is a sign that rules the breast, the mammary glands, your chest cavity is ruled by Cancer. Milk, including milk color, cream color, white, the color white, that's Cancer. But milk that also comes out of the breast, that is Cancer. And the disease itself, cancer, is also indicated by the sign of Cancer. And Jupiter being a Cancer, what is Cancer? They say is the abnormal multiplication of what? Cells. That's Jupiter in Cancer right there. And Nigeria has it in the 6th house. Nigeria has Jupiter in the 6th house, a place of epidemic and illnesses and health conditions and diseases. Currently, the ruler of this 6th house is currently in the sign of Cancer. For women, so we are likely going to see that is the strongest indication. Another indication we are looking at here is a possible spike in the spread or increase of liver diseases. We are also going to be seeing that. Statistics are also going to be coming out. This is on the health side of things. And like I said, the Ministry of Works, roads, bridges, they are really going to be getting busy. With all that stuff, they are really going to be getting busy. And the health sector is also going to really getting busy, really, really busy this year, especially women's health. And also talking about protest here, because here that Jupiter is in Cancer, you also have to look for where the moon is. In the Nigerian time, the moon is in Aquarius. Might likely see some protest, some mass action from women protesting for some reason. I don't know what it is, but let's look. Let's just look. A lot of things play out here that can, lead to that can possibly lead to women protesting. Also, looking at this, also Jupiter being in Cancer and the moon being in Aquarius, if the government is serious, this is the best time for them to improve on light, on electricity issues. If they are serious, this is the best time for them to improve on electricity issues. So if they do that, we might get a good, stable, guys. Jupiter is stabilization. For those that say no, it's Saturn, yes, Jupiter is stabilization. If you don't know it now. This is ancient keyword for Jupiter. You just don't know modern keyword and be like, the ancient one still applies. The traditional keyword still applies to these things. Mars. Modern astrologers don't believe Mars points to death, but ancient astrology, it does not change the fact that Mars points to death. You keep seeing it plays out in the reality. I have predicted Mars several times, pointing to that, and it has played out. It does. See, these things just evolve. They don't change. Mars will always indicate death because it's through Scorpio. Scorpio is the planet of death. So the moon is currently in Aquarius now, where Pluto is. Pluto is rebellious activities. Even though in the sign of rebellion itself, Aquarius, yes, it's rebellious activities. And I said something about this moon, something that has to do with money, banks having network failure issue. When I was predicting the energy for this moon, I said the energy is Leo. The video is still there. It happened now. People say, but it's something that normally happens. It's not every month you see that happen on that scale. So when I say this is the energy for the month, and I see Uranus there, which is the planet of disruption, in the second house, which is money, the banking sector, and all that stuff. I say this disruption and network and internet, the planet of disruption, instabilities is in the second house of Nigeria. Tells you that month is going to be characterized. Part of it is going to really show us that there's going to be disruptiveness in the banking sector when it comes to service delivery. The services are going to go down and all that stuff. And I told you people, the moon is in Aquarius in the 8th house. By default, the Nigerian energy is affected. Network, rain affects internet services. This is the moon in Aquarius. And we have Chiron there, so that is the inconveniences and the trauma, the pains we experience when it comes to when rain falls and network is affected. Say, but if we upgrade our infrastructure. Now, I'm not saying that will not happen. I'm telling you people, this is it. If we upgrade the infrastructure, this energy, see, this is not, I'm not doing wishful thinking here. They can upgrade the network infrastructure, right? But I believe if you still go close to those that are there, they will tell you that it's not really the way the rain in Nigeria falls. Is actually why it really affects network. This is the way it's bound to happen. If rain falls, it's not the same in the Western world. If rain falls, network is bound to happen. This would have even been easily navigated. But because Chiron is sitting pretty there, it's just balanced there. Chiron is there. You see a lot of inconveniences. We might upgrade our facilities, network is good, rainfall, network is good, but for how long? Chiron is always going to pop out. I have seen how this energy plays out. Okay, so right, so what else am I looking at? Okay, this month, yes, I remember this month I said, that is a month of celebrities because it was a Leo month. Leo is a sign of celebrities, right? So what I didn't also think was that I wanted to do a follow-up video for that, but I felt like, nah, let me leave it. Because, I should have done it though. But, a part of me just feels like, it's cloud chasing, just leave it. Even if you want to take advantage of the trend, do it in a way that doesn't seem like cloud chasing, but I mean, I've actually sat down with myself and thought of the fact that I should have taken advantage of that trend and actually helped my channel to actually blow. Because when I say the energy for the month points to celebrity, you're going to see them, the activities. Now, I didn't point to the fact that the second house points to food, is food. Second house is food, and the sign there is Leo, celebrity. Uranus is there, Uranus is popularity. What did David Abasi do? Is she not a celebrity? What she cooked, right? Try to break a record for the biggest pot size food, all that stuff. I know there was going to be celebrity activity, but I didn't see the aspect of food playing out. Is this why I always tell you why I can't see everything? I can tell you the nature of what you're likely going to expect. Sometimes I will get the prediction. I can see some indications because I know how the country has been. I can tell you this is the very thing, and you're going to see it to come. But it doesn't always come like that. So I didn't necessarily see that Abasi was going to make that move. But I saw some move about celebrities making that, big fame move, like wanting to be popular, to gain, that popularity and all that. I mean, the best is stepped in and took that energy. That was the second house energy, Leo energy for this month. I pray that all that stuff I said about celebrity activity, you're going to be seeing a lot of them, And there was a girl on X, that I think that she ran her mouth, and I think Rude Boy, the second of the P Square, one of the twin, decided to follow up the matter, using the legal process and all that stuff. Because Sun is ruled, Leo is ruled by the Sun, and Nigeria has a Sun in Libra, which is court cases. That's what Libra is. Libra is court cases. Libra is lawyers. You understand? Court cases and all that stuff is what Libra points to. You see? So, I mean, she got she said she posted something on the media, which by virtue of the fact that Leo is active, which means his ruler is active, and anywhere his ruler is active, which other planets that sits there is also active. This is this predictive technique, and Mercury is there, right? Mercury is media. So this particular lady, she posted up, which is the fourth house. Libra is the fourth house, which is female. The fourth house is women, and a woman in the media, which is X, posted about something, and then Rude Boy took up the case, which is the celebrity, which is the son that you're seeing here. You understand me? Which is the son that we're seeing here, picking up that case. And before we know, they said the girl has traveled, she went to Ghana or something. What else? So all that stuff really, it played out the way it did. And it's quite funny. These things happen, and I'm like, yeah, that is energy for the country. Even if I didn't mention it, I'm like, okay, that is energy for the country playing out. You understand? And like I said also in my predictions, okay, I mentioned the epidemic stuff, and in the education sector too. So because this Jupiter is here in the education sector of things, Jupiter being in Cancer and then the Moon being here, you're likely going to see, teachers, professors, lecturers. That's what Jupiter is. Are likely going to see them protest. Protest because of their what is it called? Protest because of their salary increments and all that stuff, which is obviously giving indication that it's likely going to occur. It's likely going to go in their favor. The indication that is going to go in their favor is there. Just that there's some coercion. You understand? There's going to be some coercion, like more like them being coerced to, like under duress, to accept certain terms and conditions. The indication is given it because where Jupiter is now is where Mars is in the Nigerian chart. It's currently in Cancer. That's why Nigeria has Mars. You understand what I'm saying there? So increase in salaries. I told you guys in the last video, I think in the predictions video I did for the month of this month actually. Now I said there's likely going to be salary increase. There's likely going to be salary increase. Although this government, I don't think this government is really inclined to that, but indication is there is very strong. So let's really see how it plays out. Right? Let's see how it plays out. So that is on the education sector of things, increase of salaries for teachers. That's because Sixth house is salary. Yes, job. There is money you pay for service, dues, money you earn. That's what the sixth house points to. Money you earn from rendering a service, salary, wages, all that stuff is indicated by the sixth house. Yeah. So that's education. So teachers is Jupiter and all that stuff. So in the like I said, we might likely see the death. But on the other side, there's other indications, giving indications of the possible illness. You understand? It's going to be like announcement. It's going to come out in media. There's a certain clergyman. We don't know whether it's on the Muslim side or on the Christian side or whichever side, spiritual head or religious head. But a certain clergy figure is going to be announced as sick or perhaps pass out as a result of sickness, because Jupiter is currently here in Cancer where Mars is. Mars points to death. I'm not wishing anybody dead, but this is what the indications is saying. So some people will be like, oh, I should predict that this year is going to be good. No, I don't have power to say something like it will happen. I'm an astrologer. You understand me? I'm an astrologer. And see, one thing people often confuse here is they think this is different from prophecy. No, a prophet does not have the power to say something and it will happen. A prophet is telling you what he has seen that is going to happen. He's just confirming it by word of mouth. Nobody has that power to make contrasts about something and it happens, except you are allowing yourself to get food. People are allowing yourself to get food. That is not how it works. A person sees something, they can't tell you something about yourself that they've not seen. What a person says is what has been ordained for you. The person is seeing what is going to happen to you. And they are saying it not because they said it, that's why it happened. This is what I'm doing here too. You understand my point? This is what I'm doing here too. I am making predictions of what I am seeing, the possible outcome of things that's going to come. I am not prophesying anything. I don't have the power to prophesy Nigeria to be good. I can't. But the energy here is what I'm going to be reading to you. I'm going to be telling you that this is what is likely going to be happening. All we just have to do is just sit back and watch it unfold. If I see the good ones, I'll tell you. If I see the bad ones, I'll tell you. Why I'm not a bearer of bad news. This is what people often misunderstand. I am telling you these things so that you can use it to prepare for what is coming. I just said those who are in the restaurant business should also be looking out, because things are really going to pop in for them, really big time. You understand me? Expecting Rudabasi to take advantage of this, because she's very likely to do that. She has shown time and time again that she is a very good opportunist. Is that the right word? But yeah, she takes advantage of opportunity. She knows how to do that stuff. She knows how to pull crowd. And it's like she has like a magic button that she presses. Once she starts doing something, the whole media begins to carry it. You see? So it's it's just one thing she's good at. So this year is giving indication of the fact that she can really go on. If you are watching this video, you are a chef, you own a restaurant, you own an eatery, you bake, whether it's cake, anything that is baked, anything that they bake, you are in that line. You are in that line. This is your year. You see this timeline is your timeline. Don't relent. Just keep going. Don't stop for any reason. Keep going. You have 12 months in this timeline. No, not 12 months. Not 12 months, because before September next year, Jupiter would have moved into Leo. Yes, you have 12 months. Even if it's in Leo, that is the second house of 9, which is still food. You understand what I'm saying? Which is still food, but not completely in that aspect of restaurant. But because this indication now is going to move to the aspect of agriculture. When Jupiter rolls into Leo, which is going to be the second house, it's going to move into agriculture, in the mechanized agriculture, because that's what Uranus is. Uranus is machines. You understand? So we are looking at mechanized agriculture, which by virtue of Nigerian chart self, Nigeria is supposed to be running a mechanized agricultural system, not subsistence farming. You understand? When Obi was saying, go into agriculture, look at it here. Life-changing money. That's Uranus is change. Money that will transform the country, because the 8th house of Nigeria is, which is the house of transformation and change, is Uranus. Aquarius, sorry. Aquarius is ruled by what? Uranus. Where's Uranus? In the second house. That's agriculture, is the house of agriculture. Yes, when he was saying, he said he knows what he is saying. Maybe by intuition, by instinct, he just knows, or by he has gathered that and know. But astrologically, I'm telling you, I'm confirming it to you. Agriculture is going to transform Nigeria like mad. There are lands in the north that if food begins to grow, I don't think you guys understand. The transformation of Nigeria is going to come in the place of agriculture, not oil. Look at oil here, that's Neptune. Oil and gas, that's Neptune. It's in Scorpio. What is Scorpio? Hidden powers. Who are the people taking advantage of our oil? No, answer the question. That's hidden power. It's there. This is what the faith. This is we cannot escape the very, very fabric of this thing. We can't escape this construct of this thing. That's why people keep thinking we have free. No, it's going to go according to the dictates of this thing. When we are going to come out of Western control. When we are going to come out of Western control. I mean, currently we are in the 8-year cycle. The 8-year Libra cycle. For our timeline. So we are expecting the government, especially Tinubu, because Libra here is ruled by Venus, which is also ruled by Taurus. And I've said it here, this is the place that indicates Tinubu. When he came out with the what is it called? When he came out with the tax stuff, we were in the Venus. When he came out with his tax reform, when it was first announced, we were in the Venus and Saturn conjunction cycle. By the time it was announced, Venus was in Libra. That's the media. It's making intention known. Now Venus was squaring Saturn. That's the first phase of that conjunction cycle. The first square of that conjunction cycle. If you know a conjunction cycle or the synod cycle, you can go and research it. This is serious meat for prediction. It's something that you have enough information. You understand? You will just flex the prediction anyhow. But I have a very new audience that are not. So with time, I'm going to bring in the advanced prediction. I just want to keep things simple for you guys. I know now I'm saying conjunction cycle. So what is this guy saying? Okay, no problem. Let me move on to other things. So that particular conjunction cycle, after giving, we're in that particular stuff. This is him. I have tracked the Nigerian chart here. I'm not going to say more than that, but I have discovered the places in this chart that describes all of the presidents of Nigeria. Even down to the point that describes Buhari. Yes, the point that describes Obasanjo, even the place that is going to describe the next president, is right here in this chart, if you know how to look for it. I'm keeping things simple. This chart is packed. There are layers to this chart. But I just wanted to talk about the energy, new energy for this one. So education aspect of things, religion aspect of things, spirituality aspect of things, these are the things I mentioned that we are going to be expecting. And then the health sector too, and the road construction too. And let me see, home invasions too, like terrorist attack. We are going to see it's going to go out of hand, guys. You know why I said that one? Now we are still in the Jupiter and Saturn synod cycle that started in Aquarius. You understand my point? The Saturn and Jupiter cycle started in Aquarius, I think in December 2022. It's in December or November, but it's 2020. Sorry, not 2022. 2020, right? That synod cycle, Jupiter and Saturn synod, is a very powerful synod cycle that a lot of predictive astrologers have been using to predict certain events for years. And one thing I'm going to tell you about that cycle gives indications to the nature of our invasion is going to be occurring. I'm not saying Boko Haram or anything has not been in Nigeria. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am telling you, 2020 marked another fresh cycle. Marked a fresh cycle for invasion. Marked a fresh cycle for invasion. That synod cycle took place here. It took place in the 8th house. So the very thing, the 8th house is resources. The one that you dig up the ground to get. Those ones they are mining. That they are terrorizing those places, those parts of Nigeria. That's what this 8th house is. It just so happens that it happens in Aquarius. So a lot of it is being revealed. By nature of how you are going to conduct whatever they are doing, it's not going to be hidden. That is one thing. The information of this is going to be coming out. Because that's what Aquarius is. Aquarius is revelation. It's information. The nature of how they are conducting those stuff It's not, except we are the ones that don't want to look for it. It's going to be out there. It's going to be reviewed. We know everything that is happening currently in the country as regards to that. But that is a foreigner, which is Jupiter, in that conjunction cycle. You understand? The Saturn there is the limitation, is the restriction, the authority, and the forceful entry of all that, so all those control. And then Jupiter is in that conjunction, that is foreign control. You understand what I'm saying? Foreign manipulation. The data is actually still manipulation too. You understand? Foreign control and all that stuff. Jupiter is invasion, is invaders, is foreigners. We are still in that synod cycle and it is still moving. Now it's in Cancer. Jupiter is currently in Cancer. I have said all of the good things that Jupiter means. On this other side, it is invasion. It is invasion. There is nothing we can do to stop it. Maybe if we elect good leaders though. Hopefully, if we elect good leaders, because we have the Sun in Libra, and the ruler of the Sun, which is Venus, is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is transformation. So Libra is voting, is election. If we vote or elect good leaders, we might transform the nature of our country. Yes, we might transform the face of our country. It just so happened that Venus is in Scorpio, which still indicates that hidden powers influence electoral process in Nigeria. Yes, this is what it means. It's right there in the chart. Hidden powers influence electoral process in Nigeria. It is there. So I'm still talking about this stuff, right? I'll talk about more in another video. I think I've given enough information. There's more to still talk about, but I'm still talk about them in another video. Alright, so peace.